What is up, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Hockeytown University. You are here with us once again, Matt, Alex, and Zach. What's going on, boys? How we feeling today?
Man, we are feeling okay, I guess. I mean, I was very upset last night and when I woke up this morning because of we all watched the game last night, or if you were watching the Frozen Frenzy, you watched that, but we'll get into it later, but that missed call by the refs, throwing the stick. I genuinely think I could apply to be a referee and I could get a job. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, if that's the bar that you don't even need to call those things, just get me in there. Like, I can do the job better than you. So that's how I'm doing.
How about you, AP?
I'm disgusted. I'm disgusted, Zach. What happened last night was an absolute travesty, and the fact that they didn't even call Toronto to take a second look at what happened was just unbelievable. We're gonna get, like Matt said, we're gonna get into it, but other than that, I'm doing great. I'm excited to be out here with the boys. I'm still fired up for this season, and I'm ready to rock.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That's what I like to hear. Yeah, honestly, nightmares all last night. Night sweats. Couldn't even sleep. It was like that one episode of that dude going, nightmare, nightmare, nightmare. Who is that does that? Do you guys know who I'm talking about? Eric Andre. Yeah,
it was Eric Andre. I knew exactly where you were going with that.
Great scene, great skit. I love it. Yeah, that was me last night. So could have gone better. It could have gone worse. We at least got a point out of it, but yes, we will discuss that further down the line. But thank you, everyone, for returning. For those of you that are new, make sure that you are hitting that subscribe button as well as hitting the thumbs up button. The frowns turn upside down. No octopus once again. But Matt's got us covered. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate that.
I'm thumbing you guys.
And if you are on Spotify, make sure you are hitting that follow button and you are rating us 5 stars. Really does help us out. What do we got in store today? Well, around the league news, Frozen Frenzy, the NHL rescinding some rules that they put on place before the start of the season. Red Wings news, marking Larkin and Debrincat, obviously. And then going over and reviewing the game against the Calgary Flames last week, Sunday. And then the game last night against the Seattle Kraken. It is Wednesday, 10:25, 7:30 p.m. So let's kick it off, shall we, boys? For around the league news, let's see. And sorry, I had Chipotle, so it's still stuck in here. My apologies, everyone. But Tuesday was the first day of the Frozen Frenzy marathon for the NHL, where all 32 teams play in one day, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time, all the way until 11 p.m. Eastern time. Boys, what do we think about this? I didn't get to utilize it. I know you did, Matt. AP, I don't know about you, but it seemed pretty cool. I like that the fact that they had everything to where you could never-ending hockey. It was great. I liked it. Thoughts?
It's exactly what this league needs to do to continue to grow the viewership. I mean, obviously with the NFL, you have NFL Red Zone. It's like super expensive. I think it's like $500 or something for the season. But no, I mean, it's exactly what we need to do to get this sport as much viewership as a league like the NFL. I did it last night, and I had 4 games on at one time. I had Detroit on. I had the Bruins on. I had a few other games on all at once. It was pretty cool. The only thing was, and I think it's only on ESPN Plus. I'm not 100% sure on that. But when you do have 4 screens up, my only thing with that is that you can't get it fully full screen. So you have, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then there's like kind of some blank space all around those 4 screens. And I wish that they would just make it full screen because it's kind of irritating. Other than that, though, I thought it was great. I think it's exactly what this league needs, and I'd love to see more of it.
I would say I did enjoy it. I did watch it too. It's a start. It's definitely a start. It's a very good thing. I'm happy the NHL is finally doing something like this. I do, however, have one massive reservation with it. I don't know how many people have watched Red Zone. I've watched it a few times. I've never paid for it personally because I'm a poor person, but I have watched it. Their entire tagline is, I don't know what it is, 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever it is, straight of commercial-free football. Did you hear those words? Commercial-free. You know how many commercial breaks there were last night? Like 20. Like,
Really?
why are we going to breaks? Yes, why are we going to breaks? When there's
It's
8
true.
games going on at the exact same time with everyone buzzing around, snapping around. There's a goal here, a goal there, a goal everywhere. They're talking about, oh, this is the most amount of goals we've had in one day. Let's see if we break the record. I guess you have to find out after this quick break from Pfizer and Pepsi. Like, what are we doing here? Why are there commercials? Like, I get why. It's the NHL. They don't know how to make money any way else other than advertising and commercials. That's why you have the digital boards. That's why you have ads for Wendy's chicken nuggets, whatever the hell it is, flying in on the screen while you're watching Debrincat snap around with Larkin. I hate it. I love what they're doing. I love this Frozen Frenzy. I want to see it more. I don't know the schedule with it. I would love to see it maybe every month, every 2 weeks. It's hard to do it every week just with the way that schedule is. Like, one team has to play the next day. They get screwed over. It's just the way it goes. But I would love to see it more often, but it should not be this hard to figure out. No commercials. Don't give me this limited commercial crap. Next time you do it, please, for the love of God, no commercials. That's all I ask.
Yeah, no commercials would be really nice, but just like you said, the NHL doesn't know how to make money other than doing digital or patch or just any kind of ad in general, because that's the only way that they can make money without exploiting their own players in their own league. So yeah, good luck to them. Honestly, I thought it was pretty cool. The only thing that I don't like about it is now you go into the next day. It's Wednesday. There's only one game on, and it's the Washington Capitals versus the New Jersey Devils. I'm cool with it. Like, yeah, all 32 teams, you get 16 games. Cool. But can we get a couple more games the day after? Like, is that really a big deal? Like, the Red Wings played back-to-back on Saturday and Sunday already. Why can't you have 4 more teams doing it? Make it 3 games. Make it 4 games. I really don't care. But that's kind of my biggest fleck from it is now we only have 1 game to watch today. And we're not even able to watch it because we're doing this. And it's with 2 teams that we don't care about whatsoever. I mean, the New Jersey Devils, okay, yeah. We think that they're a Stanley Cup favorite for sure, and they're fun to watch. Jack Hughs, who's leading the league in points in 5 games with 14, and we'll discuss more about that with a different player. But yeah, that's more games equals more fun and brings in more viewership. So let's
Zach,
figure it out.
The problem with that is that the Boston Bruins get too tired. They can't play back to back. They can't. It's not even it's not even in question. No, I mean, here's the thing. I think that we should do the NHL should do at least, I think, once a month. I think you have a set, Tuesday night or a set. I think Saturday would be awesome. I mean, most people I feel like don't work on Saturdays. They can just sit, start at 7:00, sit and watch all the games. I think doing it once a month would kind of create a culture around it. Be like, oh, Frozen Frenzy's in 2 weeks. Like, what are we going to do? We're going to go to the bar. Are we going to, someone going to have a party for it? I think it would create a culture instead of having it, like, obviously this was like a trial thing that they did. But I think if they started to do that, obviously, like Matt said, get rid of the commercials, fix a few, logistical things here and there. I think it would be great.
Yeah, 100%. I agree with you. The Boston Bruin thing that has me dead right now. That was so freaking funny, AP.
I mean,
oh my god,
it's true.
All right, the NHL is rescinding the rule that prevented players from using pride tape on ice this season. Good. Give a little pushback. They'll just negate any rule that they put in place. It lasted what, 2 weeks? Players said F you. We're just going to keep doing it anyways. You can fine us. I don't even think anyone got fined, did they?
No. I mean, Travis Dermott, I think, was the guy who did it. He's the only one I know of who actually did it. So, like, he used the tape. Apparently, all it took was one person saying, you know what, I don't care, NHL. I'm going to do it anyways. And they folded. So, this is really a great thing that's happened here. They put a league-wide ban on something that 99% of people in the entire hockey world thought it was a terrible idea, and 1% thought it was a good idea, and 2 weeks later they have to reverse their ban because it was such a stupid idea. Yeah, the NHL, they're run perfectly. Change
Well,
nothing, please.
I think Connor McDavid definitely had a big part in it. I mean, he's one of, if not the biggest name in the NHL, and he came out. I read an article a few weeks ago about how he wasn't happy with the decision. Here's my thing, to have, first things first, keep politics out of sports. Regardless of what you believe
Please.
in, absolutely. But further, to put a ban on something is just so stupid. Especially, when it goes to with, how people identify and things like that. It would be no different if the NHL were to ban, like a Muslim player wearing, having like some sort of tape on his stick, or like a Christian player having a cross on his stick or something like that. It's like, why were you going to control like what people like want to support and put on their, like, who cares? Like,
that's what it is. Who cares,
it's so
really?
dumb. Like, why was that even it was just a step back. It was stupid. I don't know why they did it in the first place. It makes them look even dumber now that they're rescinding it.
Yes.
So I just think it was such a stupid decision, especially from a PR standpoint.
Yeah, I think we did talk about this when it actually initially happened, Alex. I think it was you and I, Matt. We talked about the pride thing, and we both said how this was a major step back for them to call it. And I'll agree with you right now, Alex, too, that I think it's even a larger step back going back to what they just did. So you just look really dumb, but good on you for doing what was right. And that's the main important thing. But yeah, you're exactly right. Who cares? Let the players be who they want to be, whatever they want to do. And even if they wanted to, I don't even think that they're using the tape during the game. It's just usually during the warm-ups. And even if they did use it in the game, who cares? Who cares? Let there be fun. I didn't realize this was the NFL, the no fun league.
Yeah, I mean, I can tell you it's not the players, it's not the coaches, it's not the GMs, it's not the fans. All those people I just listed make the NHL go round. So if it's not any of them, I think it's pretty obvious when you narrow it down, process of elimination, you can kind of figure out who was calling for this.
We should get a dartboard with just Gary Bettman's face on it.
I already have one. I have one.
Throw a dart every time something stupid happens.
I have his face attached to my toilet bowl, like people have in Philadelphia's arena with Sid.
Oh my god! Is that a real thing?
It should be. It will be soon. Now that I mentioned it.
Okay. All right. Let's move on. All right, AP. We're gonna go into your little segment here of let's make that money. It's probably not what it's gonna be called, but that's what I'm calling it right now. So go ahead, buddy. Why don't you give us what you got? What happened last week? How did we do last week?
Yeah, so last week we ended 1-2 last week. A little slow start to the season. Getting into the groove of things, obviously, it's going to be hard to judge on how teams are going to play, especially being the first few weeks. Getting back into the groove, seeing how new prospects are playing, seeing goaltenders back in the net. So we were 1-2. Not an excuse on my part of it being a new season. I'm just throwing it out there.
Things happen, man.
So
you get it.
Yeah, the first bet did cover Detroit plus 1.5. We'd love to see that. Buffalo money line did not cash. The Flames did win 4-3. I was pretty surprised by that, honestly. And I guess looking back now, hindsight's 2020. The Sabres are terrible. So, but so are the Flames. So it's it is what it is. New Jersey Devils minus 1.5 did not hit. The Devils won 5-4, but for the minus 1.5, obviously the Devils would have to have won by 2 or more goals. So, with all things said, we're coming back this week. We're gonna go 3 from 3. We're gonna go 3-0. We're gonna knock it out of the park.
Let's go.
So to start, we have tomorrow, Thursday, October 26th. The Jets are in town to take on Detroit, take on the Red Wings.
Yeah,
The
what do you
Jets
got for that
have
one? I might be going to that game. What do you got?
Okay, awesome. Yeah. Well, I'll give you some extra skin.
There you go.
So we got, you know, the Jets have been extremely average. Extremely average. I always wondered what happened to them because 2 years ago they were a playoff team. They were pretty good. Anyhow,
I'm pretty
Jets.
sure. No, you're right. I'm pretty sure they were a conference final team 3 or
Yeah.
4 years ago when they still had Lane on the team.
Yep.
Funny how times change. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, yeah,
I
it's
had
true.
to throw that out there.
No, you're good, brother. Yeah. Anyway, Jets are 3-3-0. They're coming off a 4-2 win against St. Louis. So we're going to see how this is going to play out. Obviously, the Wings are hot. And my only thing is, I'm sure you guys have heard, there's some illness going around in the Detroit locker room right now. So Petrie and Debrincat are not expected to play tomorrow night. So we'll see how that plays out. I do think that Debrincat has kind of been the je ne sais quoi of the team lately. So we'll see if they can hold it down. If they can hold on the fort without Debrincat tomorrow, I'm excited to see how they play without him in the first line. It's going to be Husso against Hellebuck, if I pronounce his name correctly. Yeah. Honestly, I thought he was going to have a better season than he has so far. Save percentage of .881.
Really? It's that bad?
Yeah, don't remind me. I have him in fantasy. Don't remind me.
Yeah.
Man, after signing that contract too, that's a big oof.
Yeah, .881. So I don't think so. I don't think the Jets are going to pull it off. We're going to take Wings money line tomorrow. We're going to keep it simple, keep it easy. I think it probably is going to be a pretty close game. I think it'll be a 1-goal game. I do think the Wings are going to take the cake overall, even with Debrincat out tomorrow. So also tomorrow at 7:00, Seattle is in North Carolina to take on the Hurricanes. Now, I really, 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 really like Seattle in this game. I really like Seattle in this game. Carolina has not played how they should be playing and how they played last year. Obviously, like I said before, it is the beginning of the season, so there's plenty of time and room for growth, or regrowth, I guess. So, like I said, I mean, Carolina has been on a pretty horrific losing streak of 3 to the Lightning, the Avalanche, and Seattle. So I don't think this is going to be a breakthrough game for Raleigh. I really don't. I could see Seattle winning this by probably more than 1 goal, to be frank. I think, and they are in Raleigh. So with that being said, I think Seattle is the better team right now. If this was at the end of the regular season, I'd be taking, I don't know, Seattle was a playoff team last year, so I probably would be taking Carolina, but I'm going to take Seattle money line. I think it's the lock of the century. Put your kidneys on it. Put the mortgage on it. Don't actually. But yeah.
But if you do, we do know some people at Rocket who could hook you up.
We don't support bad decision making here, so don't come at us.
Yeah, 1-800 gambler.
That was a joke. Do not put your kidneys on it. Friday, October 27th, the Blackhawks are in Las Vegas. The undefeated Vegas Golden Knights, home squad, home team. Vegas is undefeated. Chicago is not. Chicago is not undefeated, even with Bedard, even with all the hype around the entire league. Chicago is not undefeated. It's going to be a great rematch. They played last Saturday. Obviously, Vegas did. I think they won. I think it was 6-4, something like that. At first, honestly, I was going to take Chicago plus 1.5. And as I was going through these and researching these picks, I just had this epiphany. And I'm going to go with Vegas -1.5. Because, look, they're at home. This is an undefeated team, Stanley Cup champions against – I mean, this is primetime hockey. I mean, this is Connor Bedard versus the reigning champs. So this is going to be a big game. I think a lot of people are going to be watching it. But I do think unless Bettman is writing the script, which he probably is, I do think that Vegas is going to take the cake. With that being said, we're going to go Vegas -1.5. And those are my picks.
Matt, you taking out a mortgage?
If I am, I'm gonna have to call out my boy Marty. I do have one more that I do want to throw in that I haven't really heard. I honestly, so I don't know how sustainable this is. We all thought this team was going to be hot trash, doo-doo, butt garbage, but the Flyers have been playing very well. They have been a very surprising team. They kind of took it to Vegas a little bit last night before, Vegas realized that they just won the Stanley Cup and they're undefeated and they won anyways. But there's a little period where they showed some fight against the best team in the league. I'll call them the best team in the league right now. It sure as hell ain't the Bruins. Yeah, I'd say they're the best. I got Flyers playing the Wild tomorrow. I think I like the Flyers in this game, to be completely honest with you. I really like the Flyers. I don't know what's going on over in Philly. I don't know if it's Tortorella just saying, like, listen, I don't care if all you guys suck. I don't care if you guys are playing beer league before you got here, or for you older guys, you're going to be playing beer league after the season. I don't really care. You guys are in Philly. You guys are being coached by me. I don't lose. I'm not a losing coach. I never have been. He's the most winning coach, most winning American-born coach in NHL history. And he's proving why with this Philadelphia squad. I think I like Philly money line tomorrow. I'm going to throw some bones on it. So that's just my little 2 cents there.
Matt, I don't hate that. I do think Philly is gonna take a run for the money this year. I think they're gonna be great.
Okay, before we get a little ahead of ourselves, I don't think this is gonna
with Air AP, please don't.
Yeah, I don't think this is gonna last. I think
Zach,
they're still
he's an Islanders
not
fan.
gonna be good.
He's not a. Listen. I am not blowing anything out of proportion. All I'm saying is that I think the Flyers have had something there. It's not complete by any means. It is not incredible, but they have something there. I mean, the game last night, I think I turned it off when it was third period because I was just tired and going to bed. But there was something there. They were looking sharp. And if they can keep that up, they could definitely sniff the playoffs, if not make the playoffs.
Man, that's just the Tortorella effect. I don't know. We'll wait and see. But you guys can gladly prove or just rub it in my face when the time comes and be like, haha, Zach. Yeah, loser. Told you.
I just want to point out that I don't think this is sustainable at all. They're on a heater. All right, they're heater. They're probably still going to finish last in the Metro. Maybe not, because Washington is an AHL team with Ovi. They're literally they're the meme of the Bugatti in the trailer park. Although, I don't know. Maybe Ovi's not a Bugatti anymore.
That is such facts. He's like a 2007 Ferrari.
Exactly. Yeah. No, he's like a Chrysler 300 now. So
all right. Before we continue down another rabbit hole, the Washington Capitals will be brought up, but let's continue on to the Red Wings news. So for Red Wings news, we got some hot news. And I'm sure most of you already know, but if you are unaware and you do live under a rock and aren't on social media, here we go. Larkin is tied with Jack Hughs for the most points in the league, which is 14. Who would have thought? Larkin does have 2 more games played, but he's a 2-point per game player right now. 14 points in 7 games. Who would have thought? Not me. Right?
I mean, I would have, because I said he was going to score 100 points this year. So,
okay, that's fair.
So far, I'm being proven right.
You are. That is true. AP, did you ever think that this was going to be... Look, I'll finish the question. Did you ever think that this was going to be possible for Larkin, fully well knowing what we've seen from Larkin in the past, and not because we thought that he couldn't do it, but because of who he's had on his previous teams?
Zach, it's about damn time. It is about damn time.
Let's
How
go.
long has Dylan Larkin been on the Detroit Red Wings? And how long has he consistently, now don't get me wrong here, Dylan Larkin is the captain. He is a phenomenal hockey player. He is Detroit's limousine right now, so to speak, okay? He's the guy on the team. However, in terms of looking at the league from a holistic perspective, he is coming up short year after year after year. This is a
100%.
guy right here that should be taking this team to the playoffs consistently, and he has not been. So it is about damn time that he is putting up 2 points per game. He should be putting up probably more than that. I think he probably will. But to be tied with Jack Hughs on this Devils team this is something I've been dreaming of for a long time. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see it, and I'm looking forward to it continuing.
It is pretty crazy, though, to look at the two, right? I mean, not even just as player versus player, but you're looking at it as team versus team, right? You look at the Dylan Larkin and look at the team that he plays on versus Jack Hughs and the team that he plays on, right? Where if you look at those players and those teams on paper and you put them right next to each other, Devils, Red Wings, Devils up here, Red Wings probably right here. You know what I'm saying? So, but this is what happens when you finally surround a talented player with more talent. This is exactly
Correct.
what Dylan Larkin has needed. And I shed tears every single night when he scores and gets a point. Honestly, like it just brings so much joy to me finally seeing how happy he is. Not that he wasn't happy being on this Detroit Red Wings team, and he's said it multiple times that he wants to be here forever. He wants to be someone whose name gets put up into the rafters one day, regardless if that comes with a cup or not. And I do think that will happen to him. But this is exactly what we've been waiting for, what he's been waiting for, and it pays to be patient, right? So I'm just forever thankful for Yzerman being a wizard and doing what he had to do to get Debrincat out of Ottawa. Thank goodness. The Sens, you guys need to figure it out. I don't know what's going on with you guys, but thank you for Alex Debrincat. And that puts us into the next Red Wings news, where Alex Debrincat was the first star of the week last week, which was announced Monday, where he put up 5 goals, 3 assists. And along with that, guys, coming out of last night's game, because Alex Debrincat did score, Alex Debrincat now has 9 goals, and he has scored more goals than the San Jose Sharks with 8 and the Washington Capitals with 6.
Whew.
How nuts is that?
You know, to be completely honest with you, Zach, that is nuts. But like after watching both those teams play last night with the Frozen Frenzy, I'm honestly not really surprised. Those teams are
Were they that bad?
garbage. They
Are
are
they?
garbage. They are so bad, Zach.
I didn't watch either of them.
Yeah, I mean, we all knew like this was the guy that Alex Debrincat is. Like we know that he's going to be that guy who just scores. He breathes, eats, and sleeps goals. He's what is he at? 9 goals now? What did you say? 9? 8 or 9?
9 goals and 13 points.
Yeah. Okay. So there you go. I mean, he scored 27 last year, and everyone's like, "Oh, this kid sucks." That's probably what Dorian said. He's like, "We'll give him to you, and all we need in return is a used bag of pucks. We'll take 1 first-round pick that will probably draft the guy projected in the 6th round for, and whatever else they got for him. I don't even know." But I mean, this guy, he's undeniably right now the best goal scorer in the league. Undeniably. Show me a better goal scorer. Maybe Matthews. He had 2 hat tricks in a row. Sure, Matthews is good. He's at, I believe, 7 now. But, I mean, come on. Like, this guy is just, like, okay, is this sustainable? Probably not. But I think if you expect him to hit 40 goals this year, you're probably pretty happy with that prediction.
I have 5 words. Steve Yzerman controls the universe.
Yes, he does. Makes the world
I'm
go
not
round.
going to say anymore because if you don't know already what this man is doing, what he's been putting together for years, Steve Yzerman controls the universe.
He must, because if you look at Dominic Kubalik, 6 games, 0 points.
Yep.
-2.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not even using Donovan Sabrango. He's down in the AHL, which, cool. Okay. We kind of expected that. Like, we didn't think that he would be playing with the Suns right now. And they got a 4th-round pick. And they gave up someone who has 13 points in 7 games. And I'm pretty sure during the game last night, or maybe I read it somewhere, but he didn't have this many goals last season until it was like 25 games into the season. We're in game 7. So what is it? Is it Alex Debrincat or is it Larkin? Like, what is we knew that this was Alex Debrincat, but is Larkin responsible for it, or is it just Debrincat is finally out of Ottawa that this is helping him? Are we basically shitting on Ottawa, or are we praising Larkin? What are we doing here?
Larkin has needed a Debrincat for years, and he has.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100%.
And now he does.
I don't think I'm exaggerating when I say that Alex Debrincat is the best player in the entire National Hockey League. I mean, come on. Connor McDavid, more like over McRated. I don't care. Never heard of him.
I don't disagree.
Yeah. Never even
Where's
heard of
your
him.
ring, buddy?
Hey, don't put that on the man who's injured for 2 weeks now, okay? He can't defend himself.
It wouldn't matter if he was healthy anyways. Debrincat clears him by a mile.
You know who should be able to defend themselves? The Boston Bruins, but they can't because of last year's playoffs.
No, they can't.
Okay. Let's go ahead and backtrack pretty far to Sunday, 3 days ago, really not that far, where the Detroit Red Wings played against the Calgary Flames in a very, very, very fun game for the Detroit Red Wings, where they won 6-2 and just handed it to the Calgary Flames the whole entire game. Could have been 6-3, but it wasn't. Thanks, refs, for calling that one goal back, and suck at Flames. But you guys, ever since you lost Johnny Ham and Cheese, Matt Kachuk, you guys haven't been good. Signing Kadri, granted, you got Jonathan Huberdeau. He'll never go back to 100-point form. But Debrincat got a hat trick. That's a huge highlight. Raymond got 3 assists. I got a question for you boys. Is Larkin and the top line the best in the NHL right now?
Yeah.
You can say yes, and then you can say your piece.
I don't need to say my piece. You just named off the league leader in goals, tied for the league lead in points with Dylan Larkin. Lucas Raymond also plays hockey. Well, sometimes. Yeah, there you go. What else do you need to say? I mean, maybe if Lucas Raymond scored that goal, maybe, yes, they are the best line in the National Hockey League. I can't really think of who else would be. I mean, McKinnon, Rantanen, and I don't remember who else plays with them, but they're pretty damn good. Okay, I don't really care. We got Debrincat and Larkin. That's all we need. So, yes, they are the best line in hockey.
I would say currently right now that they're definitely the best line in hockey. And the only reason why, and Raymond in 7 games, he has 1 goal, 4 assists, 5 points. The only reason why he's not up there in the points with those guys is because he isn't on the number 1 power play unit, right? And you can easily say that. So that is, it's a little unfair to Raymond, but I think Raymond looks good. I said this before the recording. I think that he is kind of stricken with the Zadina flu, where he gets these great chances, but just cannot finish putting the puck into the net. And I don't want to curse him by saying that. So,
yeah, Raymond will be fine. Like, it's like I also said before the show, we're 6 games into the season. He'll be fine. He's doing literally everything right. He just, for some reason, whatever it is, he's not finishing right now. Sometimes that happens in life, you know? Sometimes you do everything right, and you don't get the result that you should have. It happens. But guess what? If you keep doing the right thing, eventually it'll break through for you.
Well, I mean, statistically, they are. You can't argue with it. You have teams like New Jersey and Edmonton and Colorado, and obviously they're undefeated. But when you look at it on paper, it's going to be difficult to beat this top line. And if this continues, what they're doing right now, I foresee a lot of issues with a lot of these other playoff teams beating us, at least by more than a goal. if we don't get at least an overtime loss out of it, they look really good. They look
They do.
really good, and they have not looked this good probably since 2016.
Dude, a long time.
Yeah.
A long
Literally.
time.
I mean, all you have to do is look at the game last night. Like, you think the Red Wings of 2 years ago would still even get back to OT in that game? If they're down 3-1, you could pretty much just not even play the rest of the game. You don't have to play the extra 20 minutes. They're probably just going to lose. Like, the Red Wings of years ago, they don't stand a chance. The fact that this team not only battled back and tied it, but also took the lead in the third period. Like, yes, obviously we know how the game ended, but the fact that they actually took the lead back, that's how you know this team's different, man. That's how you know that there's something
it's
in
like
the water.
what I was saying last week, and I hate to keep harping on this, but it's so important. This team is playing with such heart. Watching them last night in overtime, and you can tell they are tired. You can tell that they have played their heart out in this game against Seattle, because Seattle is a good hockey club. They are good. You can tell they were putting 100% of effort into it and won. Like, you can tell that they even feel different about this season than they have previously, because that they know that there's something there. They know that there is this extra level of hockey prowess that they have that they just haven't unlocked yet. And I think they know that too, and they can feel it, because you, like, on TV, you can literally hear how loud Little Caesars Arena is and how packed it is. Like, I'm telling you guys, there is something different about this season, and it speaks for itself.
Yeah, AP. And one thing that I I just thought of this off of the top of my head, it's almost like the Red Wings. You ever seen those, maybe like one of those really old movies that your parents used to watch where like depicted how high school was like, where there's this one kid who's getting picked on by the jocks, and then he goes through summer and just gets jacked, and then comes back to school and just beats the hell out of everyone that ever picked on him. That's the Red Wings right now, because they heard all of the smack that people were talking over the summer, and they're like, screw you guys, we're going to show you guys up. And they're doing it. And I think that they're basically Seattle this year, just like how Seattle was last year. Everyone did the same thing to them. And that's what Daniel Sprong said in one of his interviews. I don't know if you guys heard that. I think it was right before the game that they did with like Ken and Mick when they're on, and like they do that like little short thing, whatever. They had him talking about it. And yeah, I think that's exactly what it is with the Red Wings. They're playing with so much heart, but they're just really sick and tired of people just kind of always pounding on them and kicking them out, saying like they're almost there, but they're not quite there yet. What do you know? You're not out there playing right now. You're just a guy who speaks on a TV in front of a screen and just gives his takes, just like how we do. We're not always right, and we'll admit that. I think the Red Wings just look freaking phenomenal. There's nothing you can do to say that will take that away from me. And the boys are buzzing, you know? And I don't know how this one got away from me, and I do apologize. This should have been in the Red Wings news. But Justin Hall also leads the NHL +9 in the plus-minus category. Suck on that, Toronto fans. And everyone else that also doubted on Justin Hall. He is, Matt, didn't you say that he's the next so-and-so? Was that you? Someone said something like that he was going to be the next greatest defenseman.
He is the next so-and-so. That is exactly what I said. Justin Hall, leader in plus-minus. I hate to say I told you so, but I called it. No, I didn't actually call it. When this deal was made, I fell to my knees in a Walmart. I was like, what the fuck?
A lot of people shit on it,
but,
and I don't blame them.
Hey, listen, this is a prime example of a guy getting out of Toronto, and everyone realizes, oh, this guy doesn't actually suck. The fans are just insane. Oh, okay, cool. Actually, when it turns out that you put him in a role that's suited for him and he doesn't play big minutes, he's pretty damn good. Who would have ever thought?
Not me.
Not me.
I love that meme so much.
Not me.
And then one last thing about the Calgary Flames game is Reimer continues to look stellar in the backup role. What do you guys think of Reimer's performances so far in just the 2 games? In his first game against Columbus, he got a shutout, and then against the Calgary Flames, he only let in 2 goals.
He's been phenomenal. He's been great, and I cannot wait to see Lalone give him more playing time.
And I think he'll get it.
I think we will too. And I think we'll get into this in a little bit, but Husso's been he's not been all there in my opinion. And to see Ryan doing what he's doing, I mean, put the kid on the ice, put him in front of the net. I mean, my goodness, I was so tempted to pick him up for my fantasy team, and then someone else stole him. I think it was my buddy Swales, but oh man, he looks good, dude.
Yeah, and in comparison, just comparing the two before you go on, Matt, and I'm sorry, or whoever's going to continue talking, but in Husso's 5 games, he got 3.38 goals against and the .893 save percentage compared to Reimer's 2 games with a 1 goal against average and a .963. Watching both of them play, they look the same to me. But if I'm looking at Husso from last year to this year, I honestly kind of think Husso does not look as good as he did to the beginning of last year. And that kind of scares me because that's exactly what happened to Nedeljkovic. So what do you think, though, Matt? What do you think about Reimer as a whole in his 2 games that he started for us?
Well, I kind of want to start with Husso because I kind of have to disagree with you guys. Like, I think Husso looks the exact same they did last year. He's just this goalie where, like, he will stop 37 shots, and the 38th shot that actually gets in is just the dumbest goal that he should have absolutely had. Like, goalie saved that 99 times out of 100, but he just lets it in. It was like that Schwartz clapper. Like, how do you not save that? That's no one is screening you. He's not even like that close to the net. You should have that every single time as an NHL goalie. But if the guy makes 35 saves, do we say he's bad? No, not really.
No.
I think that's just kind of who Husso is. You know, that's just kind of him. But back to Reimer, I've seen enough. Just make him the backup. Like, but stop carrying 3 goalies. This is stupid. Just put Lyon on waivers, trade him, do whatever you have to do. Bring up another forward, another defenseman. Edvinsson should not be in GR. Bergman should not be in GR. We don't need another goalie. We really don't.
I mean, I didn't really plan on going down this rabbit hole, but I guess, I mean, I at least want to throw my 2 cents at that. My idea would be, I mean, you have Lyon for 2 more years at a very, very cap-friendly number for any team in this league, right? And so does Reimer. Reimer really doesn't make that much more either. And the Red Wings, if they needed to retain 5% for a team to be able to take him because they're so cap crunched, sure, whatever. Do whatever you got to do. But I'm almost kind of thinking that I would trade Reimer before I would trade Lyon because Lyon hasn't even played anything. I'd rather get something than nothing. And at least you have Lyon signed up for 2 more years. But if you're, and I hear what you're saying, Matt, stop carrying 3, but if it goes anywhere how it did last season, I want to keep having 3 up. But if injuries on the forward end, maybe like defensive end, happen, then maybe I can see it to where you have to get rid of one of those goaltenders because you need more room on the roster. I don't know. I really don't know. AP, what do you think? I like having 3 goalies on the roster personally because of PTSD from last season, but they haven't even gotten Lyon 1 game yet. And when is that going to happen?
No, Zach, I agree with you 100%. I think that we should be carrying 3. Injuries, on the front end are definitely something to be aware of and be conscious of when even considering these trades. But Reimer looks really good. I wouldn't want to get rid of him. I mean, I guess put him on waivers, but like the way he's been playing, granted, okay, here's what I'll say about Reimer. He has played against 2 pretty crappy teams. So, like, the Blue Jackets and the Flames. So, take his goaltending with a grain of salt, but
right.
I don't know. I like the guy. I think he's been playing a hell of a game. Well, obviously he's been playing a hell of a game, and I'd like to see him. I'd like to see Lone put him in versus a team like Colorado, versus a team like the Devils, versus a team like Edmonton. I'd like to see him play against a good team and put Husso on the bench for a game like that. And then, take a step back and look at what we want to do. So that's the way that I look at it.
Fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, Matt, I really don't know who or how you would get it done, to be honest. I really just don't see a world right now where we can move the 3 or one of the 3, but stranger things have happened, right?
I think you could easily just give up Lyon for like a 3rd or 4th round pick. Like I don't really know about trading Reimer. I don't know about trading Reimer, to be honest. Like, at least you know what you have in Reimer. He's played 2 games. He's looked pretty good. At that point, I don't know why you get rid of him and you put in Lyon. Like, we don't know what Lyon is. He might let in 5 goals on 20 shots. We have no clue. So
yeah,
I think you need to keep Reimer. Like, I do get what you mean. Like, he's only on a 1-year deal. I mean, dude, that doesn't mean he can't be signed longer. I mean, we're talking about extending Gostisbehere already. We're talking about extending Sprong. They're also on 1-year deals. So you never know.
I honestly would be shocked if the 3 that you just named, Reimer, Ghost, and Sprong, are all signed to the team
would too,
for next
but
year.
I'll tell you this, Zach. If they make the playoffs and they win a round, those guys probably aren't going to want to leave. And be like, oh, cool. Probably our squad's for real. Yeah. We can probably get this done. Let's stay. That's nobody leaves a successful team.
Yeah.
Well, except for Johnny Hockey and Matthew Tkachuk. Yeah, they did do that. Yeah.
All right. We're already 46 minutes deep, so let's move on to last night's game, talking about the Seattle Kracken crackheads. Yes, Tree, I am talking about you if you are watching this episode, you crackhead. All right, Wings lose in OT 5-4. You're walking out with a point, and you're still good enough for 4th place in the league. So that's the bright side, right? But first off, you guys suck. Once again, you just proved how horrible you guys are at your job. Who wants to volunteer to go first?
I'll get it over with.
I'm giving
I just, like I said earlier, it's just disgusting. What is the training that these refs have to go through to become an NHL ref? I mean, it was so clear, and the announcers last night were like, and for context, I'm talking about when Schwartz threw his stick. It was Schwartz, right?
So Jaden Schwartz, yes, he essentially threw his stick. A lot of people will say he fell and his stick came out of his hand, but happened to go the same way that the puck was going to get shot towards the net. Yes, it was Jaden Schwartz who threw his stick.
So let me talk about a few things here. So number one, the announcers last night were like, oh, well, they definitely have to look at his body language and see if he really did fall or if he was actually trying to throw his stick towards the puck. Dude, I backed that up like 10 times, including slow motion, and he clearly, like, without a shadow of a doubt, threw his stick towards the puck. The refs must have had money on Seattle. There's no other explanation for this. Let me read you guys something from the NHL rule book. 53.1, section 53.1, throwing equipment. A player shall not throw his stick or any other object in any zone. A player who has lost or broken his stick may only receive a stick at his own player's bench or be handed one from the D-man on the ice. 53.2, minor penalty. A minor penalty shall be imposed for throwing a stick on any player on the ice who throws his stick or any part thereof or any other object in the direction of the puck or an opponent in any zone, except when such act has been penalized by the assessment of a penalty shot.
Who in the hell writes these rules? That is a long-winded rule. Holy shit.
It's long-winded, but these refs need to read the damn book.
Yes,
You
Yeah,
guys,
right.
it's not rocket science. If that didn't happen, this game very well could have been over in the third period. We would have won. I mean, he was so wide open. Look, I'm not saying it's guaranteed, but that right there, bullshit. Matt?
It definitely looked like that the puck was going to get in, and Schwartz did a very good job at. I don't even know what's like. I was gonna compare it to a different sport where you just throw stuff and it blocks a shot, but I can't even think of one. So Jaden Schwartz, yeah, just throwing sticks for no reason. Like he knew what he was doing, 100%. Matt, your turn, buddy. Let it out.
Just pay me minimum wage. I'll do the job. I'll do it better than 90% of the referees in this league. I'll be reffing the Stanley Cup Finals by my second year. I genuinely don't understand where these refs come from. Players get fined all the time. They get suspended for dumb shit that they do. Can we fine and suspend the referees, please? Like, if you miss a call this blatant, like, nothing happens to you. I'm so sorry. Did I miss the player throwing the stick at the puck, which is cut and dry, not allowed, and very easy to catch if you're watching it? Oh, did I miss that? Oh, whoops. I'll just go to work the next day and probably do the same thing. What are we doing here? Like, honestly, like, I get it, like, referees, like, that's a hard job. Not only just like the like technical whatever day-to-day of it, but like, you are not a very popular person if you're a referee. I'm just gonna say that right now. I mean, we got a former referee, Tim Peel, on Twitter. He chimes in every now and then. He gets roasted, cooked in the comments. Like, I hasn't been a referee for like 5 years, and people still hate his guts. Like, guys, he's not on the ice giving your favorite team, giving your least favorite team a power play. Like, he's a guy. He's just a normal dude now. He's a civilian, and they still hate him. So I get it. It's not an easy job, but my God, all it takes, the bare minimum, is 2 fully functioning eyes, which these refs didn't have apparently. Because if you did, you would have seen that he threw the stick, literally not allowed, and the Red Wings get a penalty. And, best power play in the league, who knows? It's pretty safe to say that they probably could have scored. And yes, it's also safe to say after that, they probably could have won. But what happened last night? They lost an OT. So yeah, I'm a little extra heated because I did also bet on them. So, don't. That's a lesson for everyone out there. We're doing a new betting segment. Don't bet on your favorite team, because when your favorite team loses, you just lose twice. So don't ever do that. Yeah, I'm disgusted too. I probably did not go as hard as I should have, but it's the end of the day. I'm a little tired. Worked a full shift at work. It's worn off a bit, but still, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I thought it was a missed call. Definitely should be a way to look back at plays like that, much like how they did with the high stick that happened on who took the high stick on the Red Wings, and they had to review it to make sure that it wasn't his stick that hit him in the face and he was bleeding. And it's like, you guys are going to review that? You're going to review to make sure that it was his own stick that hit him? It could have been Sprong. It could have been someone on defense. I really can't remember who it was. Someone in the comments can let me know. But yeah, I think it's silly that the refs have the ability to review something like that to make sure that they're giving a 4-minute power play correctly to the Detroit Red Wings or not. But you can't review a guy basically taking a potential goal, a scoring opportunity away from a team. But you can't review that because he clearly threw his stick. I just think it's silly. It's exactly what Matt says. What are we even doing? What are we doing here?
They have what, 5 referees on the ice at any given time. They have a situation room in Toronto that reviews every single penalty. They have too many resources in place to get these things wrong, yet they consistently get them wrong every time.
But that's my point. That's my point. There was the high stick. I don't know if it was Sherratt or who it was on, but they called Toronto for that. But they don't even call Toronto from throwing his stick at the puck. Like, just put the boys on the bench if you're not going to let them play.
Yeah.
Honest to God, it's unbelievable.
Well, and the one thing too that I will give the refs credit for it. I don't know how often this happens, but they at least did go to Lalone and say, yes, we did get that wrong. He definitely threw his stick, and they did apologize, and that's great and all.
Okay.
However, the situation of the game definitely would have changed. Now, just give me a yes or no answer when I ask you guys this. You guys don't need to go into it because I'll ask you kind of a follow-up with it. Do you believe the refs are the reason why the Detroit Red Wings lost this game? Yes or no?
No.
Okay.
No, because Larkin did take a pretty bad penalty.
Okay. You knew exactly where I was going with this. So with under 2 minutes left, had Larkin not taken that really bad hooking penalty, granted it was slightly soft, but these refs nowadays in the NHL will call anything like that, right? And so I will put this on Larkin a little bit. Granted, he did have a 3-point game, and he was responsible for us getting that comeback to where we were leading 4-3 after being down 3-1 going into the third period. I will put a decent amount of this on Larkin, because had Larkin not have done that, we wouldn't have gone into overtime. You only had less than 2 minutes to kill. That's it. You were good. You were set. There was no way they were going to score on you. And then you guys could have had an empty netter, and it could have been 5-3, and then you guys could have gotten that extra point. Like I said, a point's a point. But they pretty much, I don't want to say dominated us in OT, because that's not exactly what happened.
No.
They played a better possession game than we did in overtime, and that's exactly what hurt us. And Raymond hitting the post, and that really did hurt. He needs to stop having the Zadina flu. And today I was even thinking, I forgot that guy used to even be on our team. Anyways, yes, Raymond, wish he would have gotten that, and then he tried to back hustle, and I think it was Sider who ran into him, and Raymond tried getting back up and ultimately couldn't save the shot that ultimately went in and won it for Seattle. And so, would you guys say that it is partially Larkin then at this point? If you guys said that it wasn't on the refs, would you guys agree with me on that?
I guess, yeah. I still think that the Wings would have had a much better fighting chance of winning this game if that. And look, this is not like just me being a Red Wings fan. It's just like the rules of hockey. If you see something like that, you have to call it, and they didn't. So, yeah, the Larkin's penalty obviously was terrible. I think he was just pissed off, honestly, and he was just like, whatever, which is not what you should do. But I don't know. I guess, yeah, if that, they still they would have had a better chance if that penalty had been called, but Larkin was definitely at fault for that one, and I think that hurt us.
I think the only reason that Seattle won the game and the Red Wings lost the game, the only reason that happened is because Seattle scored more goals than the Red Wings. And that's you might be like, oh, here he is. He's just being a smartass again. No, that's pretty much it, dude. I mean, you can win or lose a game however you possibly can. If there's no penalty at the end there and with the goalie pulled and everything, teams pull the goalie all the time to tie it up at the end of games. Sometimes it works. Who's to say that it's, still whatever it is when they pull it 5-on-4 or 6-on-4, whatever it is, that they don't just score anyways? I mean, who's to say, I'm just, it never feels good to lose a game like that when it's just a complete ref show. But, it's like we said earlier in the episode, the Red Wings of 2 years ago don't even win this game. They don't even stand a chance after it's 3-1 in the second period. They just don't come back and win. The fact they came back, they fought and clawed for just an OT point, I mean, they're for real. They're just different this year. They're built different.
Yeah, no, I'll give it to them. Like you said, last year's Wings probably wouldn't have come back like they did in the game yesterday, right? And so I'll give them props for that. And they tied. They got a point, right? A tie is a tie. Whatever. But no, I'll give them props for that. Like I keep on saying, 1 point is one more point than all these other teams in the Atlantic that are below us.
Hey, no matter which way you slice it, I'm going to say that the Red Wings are on top of the Atlantic right now because the team that's actually above them is a fraud. So I'm going to say they're on top of the Atlantic. Like, you still have that. You can still hang your hat on that.
Yeah.
That's true. So outside of everything that we just mentioned, Shane Gosper also got a goal and 2 assists for 3 points. He's looking real nasty, right? He's coming as advertised, if not better. I think he's looking way better. I think he came in as a very underrated defenseman because that's what he is, right? I think his defense is a lot better than we thought it was going to be. His offense is definitely way better than we thought it was going to be. I mean, this guy can rip the puck, right? Joe Valeno as well got a goal. It was a deflected goal. A goal's a goal, though. He's killing it right now. I'm pretty sure he's up to 4 goals right now. Debrincat got one as well. Like we mentioned, Larkin got one as well. And Sprong got an assist. Ole Mata got an assist. And Mo Sider got 2 assists. And then Ville Husso. Matt, this isn't really picking on you or anything like that, but like you said, if he saves 35 shots and he saves 35 out of the 38, well, 33 out of 38, that's 5 goals and 868 save percentage. Should
he was not good last night.
Are we nervous about Husso at all? Should we be? Because this is now the third game that he's let in 4 to 5 goals in his starts.
Honestly, no, I'm not worried. I really am not. Like, didn't he play? I forget what game it was, but he had like a 930 something save percentage. He's just, I don't know. He's up and down. I'll say that, but it's 6 games into the season. I think he will eventually settle in and he'll find his rhythm again. We also got to remember that he was injured to end last season. So, I mean, who even knows how long that lasted? I don't know if he was still feeling the effects in the summer and maybe he lost some training time. I don't really know. I think he'll be fine. I really honestly do. The defense in front of him got better. Obviously, the team is scoring more. So if there are some nights that he has an off night, it's kind of messed up by the team. Obviously, you wish that didn't happen that much. Also, another nice thing is he finally has a reliable backup. So, hey, if Husso is starting 3 games in a row and he's not looking too hot, throw in Reimer. He's reliable. He'll win you a game. I mean, he's already won us 2. So, no, I'm not really worried.
I guess for me that's kind of what I was trying to say too, is that like I just don't want it. I just don't want Husso to be the next Nedeljkovic, right? Because that's exactly what happened to Ned. His first year he was good for us, and then the second year just kind of.
Nedeljkovic was a disaster last year. He was a disaster. Oh, yeah. He was not startable, Zach. You literally could not justify starting him.
That's why we got home. I know.
Yeah, Husso will not be there. He won't be.
I really hope to God that he's not. I mean, like you said though, he had some really good saves yesterday in yesterday's game. There were also a couple saves where he was. It just gave me Ned vibes, right? Where it was like he seemed like that he was all over the place, but like in a good way, right? Where I get it, right? It's probably tough being an NHL goaltender. I don't know. Maybe I'm overreacting a little bit. It is 7 games in the season, so but we could also say that about Larkin and Debrincat, but no, I'm staying on my high horse. And
that'll keep happening.
I'm on the playoff train. I'm riding it, and we're going, boys. We are going.
We gotta let Husso cook. We just gotta let him cook. Give Reimer a game at least, once every week and a half. Let Husso cook. Hashtag let Husso cook.
I love it.
Hashtag let Husso cook. Also, we don't have to go in depth about this, but I do want to give a special shout out to Ben Sherratt. Ben Sherratt, I will blame you for taking a really bad penalty for not getting off the frickin' ice when your helmet came off, dude. That rule has been in place for 5 years now? Get it through your frickin' head. The puck was I'm in the play. Dude, no, you weren't. Get off the frickin' ice, okay?
I'm really trying to put away my Ben Sherratt dartboard. He's been good this season. Listen, Ben, if you're out there and you're listening, don't make me take it back out. I don't want to take it back out. I want you to succeed. You're here for 3 more years. Please, just go out there and do your job for 3 more years. And then if you want to stay, God bless you. If you want to leave, good luck.
You don't got to go home, but you can't stay here, Ben Sherrod, after those 3 years. I'm sorry. No, you ain't staying. No, sir. All right. That's it, boys. Good episode. But before we finish off, we definitely have to let everyone know our final thoughts. So, Matt, you go first. You're the longest.
Oh, I kind of just laid it all out there, boys. I'm not gonna lie. I left everything out on the field. I'm excited for tomorrow. We got another Wings game playing the Jets, and then really, honestly, probably the first true test of this season. We do play the Bruins on Saturday. That'll be a very fun game. Listen, me and AP rip on this Bruins squad. They do deserve every single minute of it, but this is a very good team. Their goaltending is elite. They have good defense. Obviously, Pasternak, I have him in fantasy hockey. He's insane. They got this young kid, this Matty P. I don't know how to say his last name. This young kid, he's like 19 years old. He's already got 3 goals, zipping around. He's like super fast. I don't know where the hell this guy came from. Like the Bruins, they look good this year. Let's make them look like trash on Saturday, though.
Yes, sir.
The trash that we know they are.
Yes, sir. AP.
We're second in the Atlantic. We should be first. Last night should not have been an overtime loss. It should have been a win. But like Lone said, we will still take the point and run with it.
Yes, sir.
I think fundamentally this team is looking great, just like we were talking about last week. The power play, I mean, I have nothing to complain about there. PK looking a lot better than I thought it was, than I thought it was going to this year. I think there's a lot to be said about this Red Wings team. Looking forward to smoking the Jets tomorrow night. If we lose to Boston on Saturday, I will literally lock myself in the closet, in my closet for a week straight and cry myself to sleep every night. If you are a Boston Bruin fan, you're listening to this, I'm not going to say anything because YouTube would probably delete this video. But yeah, no, look, the boys are buzzing. The boys are buzzing. We've been saying this for like 2 weeks now. I'm excited. I really hope Debrincat plays tomorrow. I really hope he gets over his little man cold, whatever's going around. There's a few other locker rooms that are having these man cold issues. But pull together Debrincat. We need you, Petrie. When you come back, let's get it in gear.
Please.
The boys are
the
boys are buzzing. Looking forward to beating Boston by more than 1 goal on Saturday. And let's rock, boys.
Nice, boys. Nice, boys. Yeah. For me, my final thoughts are, last night should have been a dub. I'll take a point. A point definitely boosts you up in the standings. You're now second in the Atlantic. Let's try and get that in the first by getting a win tomorrow night, Thursday, against the Winnipeg Jets, who they play at 7 p.m. in Detroit. Like I said, I might be going to that game. Who knows? Still waiting on confirmation on that. And then the Red Wings do play. Are they in Bruins? Are they in Boston on Saturday?
Yes, they are in Boston.
Okay. This could be the battle for first place in the Atlantic. So I'm expecting a really good game out of that. And so with that, boys, with my final thoughts, I want to hear from you guys. What do the Red Wings need to do against the Boston Bruins team? Real quick. Just lay it out there and we'll tune off.
If it's a battle for first place, they need to win.
They do. Yeah.
They do. Yeah, they need to score more than the Bruins score.
If Boston goes into Saturday still undefeated and we lose to this Boston team, look, we need to win this game. There's no other option. I wish for more than anything that the Bruins would become Detroit's next like huge rival, like obviously with Colorado in like the late '90s and stuff. I hope more than anything that the Bruins will become Detroit's public enemy number one. With that being said, we need to win this game. We need to win it hard. We need to start off fast and hard. We need
And deep.
to
Yes, sir. Yes,
deep in the
sir.
net. Let's go bar Antarctica. Every single goal. Bar Mexico. Bar Antarctica. I actually, you know what? I have Boston's goalie. What is it? Woolmark, I think, as my goalie in fantasy. So, you know, I honestly I don't even care. I am actually playing my dad in fantasy this week. His team's looking a little rough, but regardless to say, I will take Woolmark literally -10 on my fantasy team on Saturday. That will be okay with me. So, Woolmark, if you're listening,
Go.
feel free, let them all in. You can get back at it your next game.
There we go. I like to hear that. Yeah, -10. Yeah, dude, the goalie points in your league are brutal, and I keep on looking at mine like, oh, I should definitely drop one of these guys, and I can't because there's nothing on the waiver wire. We definitely picked a 22-man roster
zip.
for each team, dude. That was nuts. It took like 3 hours to get through the draft.
It's honestly
I
fun.
know
Oh,
everyone
man.
else was on like auto pick. Everyone else was on auto pick after like
Yeah,
round
like
like
10,
16.
dude. Yeah. Oh, I was like, can I go to bed yet? But no, for me, yeah, I think the Red Wings just need to win. They need to score more goals than the Bruins, like Matt said. They need to play hard. They need to play fast, like KP said, and jam it right into them and put some pucks in the nets and shove it down their throats. And just continue doing what you're doing, playing hard, playing heavy, and putting pucks on the net, and kicking ass, taking names, and chewing on bubblegum, Red Wings. So, yeah, let's go, boys. You're buzzing. Continue it, and let's get first in the Atlantic Division by a healthy margin with these next 2 games. So, with that being said, that's it. We definitely appreciate y'all for stopping by. If you guys are returning, if you are new, thanks for stopping by. Once again, though, I will politely ask you to just please hit that subscribe button. Smash that thumbs button. Frown turns upside down, right, Matt? It really does. All right, boys. We'll see everyone on the next one. Hockeytown University. Bye-bye.
Peace.